So we're live. Okay, and we're back. I finally was able to get this with the help of Cindy. We were able to get the live broadcast working again. So sorry about that. My computer does not. It currently does not have a webcam. So what we're going to do is we're going to start this broadcast off just by doing a 10-minute section of seed starting, a 10-minute section of basically early spring gardening questions, and then a 10-minute section of open forum. So hopefully everyone can stay on topic, stay on track, and so we can get the questions answered in the time that we need. So I first want to thank everyone for coming out today. It's something we want to do on a more regular basis, and it's something that I think more people can I think there's something that more people can utilize that I have not quite seen in the gardening community as much. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the forum first to seed starting questions. If anyone has any seed starting questions, feel free to ask those, and you're more than welcome to shout those out if you have any. Hello, Wayne from Wayne's Homestead, and hello, Julia. I know, and Sutton's Days. For those of you that have not yet seen their channels, definitely check those out. Those are two really great channels. If you have something that you want to ask, now would be the time. We have approximately 7 minutes. So ask the questions away if you want to do that. I'm seeing comments here. This is really weird. Okay, someone comment if you can hear me. I see a live stream, but I don't. Okay, there we go. Okay, Allison Kramer asks, why are some of my, okay, so now I know that it's working. Great, okay, so Allison Kramer asks, why are some of my seedlings kind of brown? So the first thing is that, okay, great, there's just a little bit of a lag. See, there's a learning curve with everything. I won't start the first 10 minutes of the opening because there's a learning curve to everything, just like there's a learning curve to gardening. I'm not as tech savvy as I would hope I was, and I guarantee you Cindy's over there, rolling her eyes laughing because I just can't grasp this stuff as much as I wish I could. So so there's a little bit of lag in the questions, and that's good to know. All right, so back to the question about seed leaves turning brown from Allison Kramer. Seed leaves turning brown is never a good thing. Generally, that's occurring from either a lack of watering. If they're turning dry and brown, that's because you're not watering them enough. And seedlings specifically will dry out very quickly. If you are watering them on a consistent basis, you might want to check your nutrients, because depending on how old the seedlings are, they're going to actually need some nutrients after a while. The seed itself holds some nutrients, enough to get the plant up and started, and then it actually needs some nutrients to continue growing. So if your seedling's any older than a week, I would suggest looking into that for some nutrients. Probably nitrogen would be my first guess. Paul Duzat says, I'm having a tough time starting my zucchini. We actually have a video on starting seeds that are like squash-related seeds. And the one thing that a lot of gardeners do is they put the seed flat. So here's a big version of a seed. If you sit it flat in the ground like this, having it come out of the ground, it has a lot of soil on top. There's a lot of surface area. Take the seed and put it in about like this, just kind of flat. Put it in flat into the soil so that when it raises up, there's a lot less soil for it to push through, and hopefully that'll help. So any other questions here? I think I got to all of them. So I'm noticing that there's that little bit of a lag. One thing that I did want to stress though when seed starting is that, again, if you can't start indoors, don't try to start indoors if you can't have the right environment. I'd rather you start your seeds outside and have a much more successful garden than starting them indoors, getting them really leggy and stressed out. Wayne's Homestead says, I plan on seed starting next year. If I want to seed start tomatoes, how soon should I start? I'm in Southern Ohio. Wayne, we have a super great episode for you. If you've not yet checked it out, maybe someone can link Wayne for me to the video we did. It's basically a complete guide to seed starting indoors, what you should start, when you should start it. It's going to help you out, I guarantee it. And hopefully you're going to be able to find that. Hopefully someone can link it. If not, I can get it to you later. So that's Wayne's. Max Johnson asks, I mix a small amount of trifecta to all my seedlings, and it worked great for me. Sometimes water with diluted molasses. Okay, that wasn't really a question. Glad it works for you. Yeah, we've had a lot of great success with that. Joe Kozlowski asks, I started carrots in a container. They all germinated, but might have gotten leggy. They're about 3/4 of an inch long. Are they supposed to look like that? Should I let them grow a little longer? No, no. Your seedlings should never be stretching, especially a root crop like a carrot. What you ideally want is them to, if this is the soil level and this is your plant, you ideally want them to be about no more than 1/4 of an inch above the soil when they first start out. If they're stretching and the stem keeps getting longer, but they aren't putting out any more leaves, that's a very bad sign, and you're going to actually have to restart. Because the thing is that, especially with a root crop, again, and Joe, I suggest watching the same video that I just talked about Wayne for Wayne's question. Don't start your carrots indoors. We talk about that in that episode, and it's really going to help you out in the long run because of that fact that carrots are root crop. They don't like to be transplanted, and you're going to find that you're going to have way more success just direct sowing outside, which we go through all those plants in detail. Nathan Ray says, my okra, cilantro seed aren't sprouting. They've been planted for about 15 days. Should I leave them covered for extra moisture or leave them open and water often? Nathan, I don't think that's your problem. I would say, and without going off, I don't really know all your details when you're seed starting. The thing is when you're seed starting, seeds require lots and lots and lots of temperature. Oftentimes people give them maybe 50, 60 degrees or maybe 70 degrees, which is just normal household temperature. However, I do not think that you're giving them enough temperature. They like something around 80 to 90 degrees to germinate. So the hotter you can make it, the better. Too hot and you're going to hurt them. However, with okra specifically, okra needs 85 to 90 degrees to germinate. So we suggest getting a heat mat to put under there because it's really going to give them the ideal heat that they're going to need to germinate. And I think that's your problem. Because with seeds like that require the high heat, if you put them in damp soil, they're just going to end up rotting. And that was one of my biggest problems as a beginning gardener, is they just always rotted on me. And I figured, you know what, there's certain seeds that I just need to invest a heat mat for. And as soon as I got the heat mat, I had amazing success with them. So there's your answer. I would almost guarantee that's probably your problem. Joseph Koo says, what grow light should I use for seed starting? Now this is, I can't get into the whole thing. We have a video on that, Joseph. I would highly recommend checking it out. If anyone out there has the video for Joseph, yeah, I see some people are already answering him. That's great. Thank you for doing that, guys. I really appreciate that. But Joseph, you want to use like a T5 bulb, something that you're going to have a little bit of length on. They make shorter T5 bulbs, but you want to get something that stretches so you can actually grow a significant amount of stuff under them. You can get them at pretty much any hardware store, the shop lights, but you want to make sure that the shop lights are really close to your plant. If they're really close to the plants, your plants are not going to get leggy. So we typically say about 3 to 4 inches away from your plants, and you're going to have awesome success. Tim Shoop asks, when you thin beets, how much stem can be buried? Well, there's two different questions kind of going on there. When you thin beets, how much stem should be buried? Well, basically, to answer that question, I think what you're trying to say is how much can you bury a beet? Beets don't really grow like tomatoes or anything. Basically, where their leaves start is how high you want to bury the soil up. Beets don't need to be buried deep. They're basically like radishes. They pretty much grow right on top of the soil. And so you're going to have a better bulb, not even really burying them. Now, in regards to thinning, I'd probably thin them to one about every 4 to 5 inches, and you're going to have a lot of success. We're going to do one more question, then we're going to transfer into early spring gardening questions. So we're not going to do any more seed starting. That'll be for maybe next week. Like I said, we're going to try to get on a pretty regular schedule with this because I think it's going to help out way more people in a lesser amount of time than I can possibly answer with text. And also it allows other people to help me out by answering questions, which is nice. So we're going to answer one more here, coming from Deb Rusato. Asks, I've been trying to start lettuce indoors in a small tray. I followed the instructions and added a heat mat and covered them. After a week, they're still small and leggy. What am I doing wrong? Well, Deb, your first problem is that you're probably not having your lights close enough. As we just talked about with Joseph, one of the things that the plants really need to do well is a nice, strong, compact fluorescent bulb, or there are other lights out there like LEDs and metal halogen lights. But the thing is that the easiest one that you can get your hands on and the most cost-effective is the CFL bulbs. But they really need to be super close. And oftentimes people get scared that they're going to hurt their plants. You're going to hurt your plants more by leaving them too far up. So if you have them less than an inch, you can run the risk of burning them. But anything like 3 to 4 inches above the plant, you're going to be totally fine. Don't worry. I recommend trying that. Don't be afraid to mix things up. You have plenty of seed, especially lettuce seed. You can get a lot per packet. And just try different things till you get a lot of success. I think that is going to be your biggest chance for success when you're starting your seeds indoors. But again, I go back to what I always say, that if you can't get them to start indoors, lettuce is a plant that you can start outside and you can have it fully mature in 35, 40 days. So I would not worry about it if you can't get it. It will not be a deal breaker whatsoever, I guarantee you. So, all right, so let's move into early spring gardening tips. I really want to talk about that now. I know there's a little bit of a lag, so we'll wait for some of the questions to come in. But I want to make sure that we stay on track for the early spring gardening. Okay, so Wayne's Homestead asks, do you have experience with companion gardening? If so, what do you recommend? We're actually going to do a whole video on companion planting, and it's something that I can't really talk about in this length because I want to get to other people's comments. But basically, companion planting, I think a lot of people overcomplicate. Companion planting is super simple. What you can do is you can take plants that are very fast maturing and plant them amongst plants that are a little bit slower maturing. So for instance, one great example of a companion plant, I'll just give you one for time's sake. And then I would recommend planting in between your cabbage, some spinach, or in between your onions, plant like lettuce or something like that, because onions are a full season grow. They take a whole lot of time to do a whole lot of nothing. As much as, I mean, I love onions, but they don't really do a lot for the amount of time they take to mature. And so you can get a lot out of your space by planting lettuce or spinach in between those, where you can actually have a harvest while other stuff is growing and maturing. I think the whole thing of plants conflicting and battling things out for space and hurting each other, I think that's a whole lot of hoopla, and I don't really buy into it all that much. Survival and More asks, what seeds can I start outside right now in Southern Illinois? Okay, I go back to the same video I've been referencing. I'm telling you, this video is going to help a ton of people out. So someone's got to post this link because it's going to drive me crazy if I don't get it. I know what it's called, but I don't have the link, and it's called Complete Guide to Seed Starting, When to Plant and What to Plant. And you can reference that video and you're going to get your answer, I promise. Okay, Mom Simple Life asks, what about powdery mildew on top of the soil when seed starting? Okay, so we actually just filmed an episode on that like 2 days ago. And what I recommend is checking out that episode. You're going to get your answer in the very last minute or so. I promise. So Mom Simple Life, I'm going to give you the answer too in this live stream. Just take baking soda, 1 tablespoon, mix into a gallon of water, spray it on your plant or spray it on your soil, not your plants when they're seedlings because they're temperamental and they can burn and die. That's going to solve the powdery mildew. Allison Kramer asks, there are great companion planting guides. So yes, there are a lot of great companion planting guides out there that people can use. They're on, bookstores, online, and I always suggest reading. Knowledge is power, and information really is there's so much information out there that you could read till the day you die, and you wouldn't even read probably 1/100th of the stuff that's out there. So on gardening even. So Nathan Ray asks, sorry to be a question hog. It's okay. There's no such thing as a dumb question, and there's no such thing as a question hog, because what you have, probably 10 other people have. As far as early spring goes, what is hardening off, and do you have any tips? Hardening off is a very easy thing to explain. So hardening off is the process of taking a plant that you started indoors and moving it outdoors. And what gardeners like to do is they like to say, oh, it's so nice out, I'm gonna move my plants out into the garden now. They throw them outside, and then basically they say, oh shoot, my leaves are starting to kind of burn. They're turning kind of very feathery and gray. That's called sunburn. Just like you get sunburn, plants also get sunburn. And you need to actually give them time to acclimate. So what I recommend is moving your plants outside for about 2 to 3 hours, taking them back inside. And then the next day, move them out for 3 to 4 hours, move them back in, and so on and so forth until you get up to about 12 to 13 hours outside, move them in for another day, and then you're good to move them out. So that's your answer. We're gonna answer one more, and then we're gonna move into open forum, and hopefully Cindy's gonna come in here. I'm not sure what she's doing, but she might wanna be here for the open forum. I live in Missouri. When do you recommend starting my onions? Sorry, I gotta grab a drink. Starting onions is gonna be answered by that video. I would recommend checking it out. It's gonna help you out. So now we're gonna go into open forum for, we're gonna do 5 minutes of open forum, and that's about all the time we have, because I spent a little more time than I should have on the other two, which is probably the most important part. So. All right, open forum question. How do you feel about square foot gardening? And do you think it is a good rule of thumb? I love square foot gardening. I do not have a problem with square foot gardening. Square foot gardening is something that is great for the urban gardener, people that are short on space. And one thing that I like to do is I like to take square foot gardening, but I like to take it to the next level. And so one thing that we're going to be doing this year is we're going to be doing our raised beds, and we're going to be kind of planting in a square foot gardening method. But the thing is by using interplanting, we can actually get way more production out of your given space. So you might be able to plant, let's say, 4 lettuce plants. By doing high intensity gardening, you can plant 8 or 10 lettuce plants in that same space. Similarly, the square foot gardening method says only 1 tomato plant per 2 square feet. We can plant in a high intensity gardening style, we can plant 1 tomato plant per square foot. So you're doubling your output when it comes to tomatoes. And it's really super simple, and we're gonna explain that in more detail. So stay tuned for those episodes. But yes, I love square foot gardening. Where's another question here? Again, that lag, people are just now getting to the point where the questions are coming around for the open forum. So feel free to ask, whatever you want. That's what open forum's about. It could be gardening or personal related. Do you have a leaf miner problem in Michigan? We've had leaf miner problems. We actually filmed a video, also, Paul, on the, by the way, this comes from Paul Duzat, and he asked if we had a leaf miner problem. We actually have a video on leaf miners that we had in lettuce, and we show you how to get rid of it. Super simple, really quick, and it's gonna solve your problem without using pesticides, fungicides, all that kind of stuff, and it's gonna help you out. Tim Huffman asks, why is your Trifecta Plus so good? Good question, Tim. Basically, I've covered this in videos as well. So many questions keep coming up in videos. I wish there was a way that we could just catalog them so people could find them. Trifecta was formed out of a need for a slow release and a fast acting fertilizer there's never really a good fertilizer that does both. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to dedicate some time to this. 5 years later, Trifecta Plus was born, where we can actually use one application and have it go all season long, which is unheard of for fertilizers. So I imagine that's why it works so good, because I think one of the biggest things that gardeners hate is knowing when to fertilize, how much to fertilize. And with Trifecta Plus, you really just add it at the beginning of the season when you transplant, and it's good all season. You can add it later on if you want, but in the trials that we've done, we've added it once, and it's done for the whole season, which is great. So where should you start a beginning gardener, in the ground or raised bed? That's a very good question. This comes from Allison Kramer. And it really depends on what you're willing to get into. I always suggest, always suggest that starting in a raised bed is easier, much easier. We actually started Cindy's raised beds when we got her started on raised beds. We also started the garden giveaway that we did. We started her out with raised beds. So I always suggest it because you're going to eliminate a lot of the problems that in-ground gardening has, which is weeds is a lot more difficult. The soil compaction is a lot more difficult to overcome. And so when you're a beginning gardener and just getting started, start with a raised bed. I think that'd be the best. But if you're up for a challenge, I know you really can't go wrong with free. And that's one of the things that's so enticing about an in-ground bed, is that you can plant your entire yard out for free. All you need is the seeds and have the time to tear up the lawn. Tim's just adding about the real secret is in the endo and ectomycorrhiza. Yes, actually, that is a good point. I want to touch on that I did not touch on when I was talking about Trifecta, is that, you know, this is no sales pitch. We do obviously sell Trifecta, but we don't do it for the money. We do it to get people's garden up and growing. And we were finding that one of the biggest problems that people have is that they add a fertilizer to, let's say, a fruit tree, and it doesn't do anything. Or they add like mycorrhiza to a fruit tree, it doesn't do anything. But that's because there are actually two specific types of mycorrhiza, which we're going to do a video on, Tim, and I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to mention this, that we're going to do a video on the difference of endo and ectomycorrhiza, and we're going to do videos trialing Trifecta in different scenarios so people can really see the power behind it. Because I just don't think that what we did last year was enough justice for it, because the fact of the matter is, with the endo and ectomycorrhiza, you can apply it to any plant because all plants are divided between endo and ectomycorrhiza, and the roots require that specific fungi. Cindy, did you want to come on here and say anything? I'm not sure what she's doing. She might pop her head around the corner. I don't want to bug her, but if she's free, then she's gonna show up. But hey there, Cindy.
I'm gonna say quick hi because I have something for next.
I think people want to see your.
No.
I think people just saw it.
No.
Well, people just saw the picture. All right.
What? You
can come in. You're good. You're good if you sit right there.
Okay.
Let's pick a question here. Everyone say hello to Cindy. What were you? Oh, you were just reading a book?
No, I was just keeping in touch with an old friend I haven't talked for years. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to bother you.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna be ending this really soon. I just wanted see if you wanted to come say hi. So pick a question. I don't mind whatever you want to pick.
Where did you leave off?
Well, they're all scrolling. All the questions are scrolling. So you can pick one. It doesn't matter.
Obviously, there's people that have love for the MIgardener store.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, we've had a really steady flow of people on. I'm really happy to see people come out.
Hi, Allison. Hi, Paul. Hi.
And there's just so you know, there's about like a 30-second lag. So what we're saying, it's what I mean. They're just replying to you, but it's a little confusing. There's a little bit of a learning curve. I made myself look like an idiot when I first started. I'm like, does anyone have any questions? And like people were saying hi. I'm like, I don't know if anyone even hears me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best gardening book you've read recently. Have you read one?
I don't think I've seen you read a book ever.
Well, the thing is, I mean,
use it for reference mostly. And,
I use a lot of reference books. We actually have, again, I hate saying this, we have a YouTube video on my 2 favorite gardening books. The one is called the Bible of Gardening, and it's totally not. I mean, if you're a Christian, it's not going to mean any different. It's just they use that term because it's like something that you should follow, like a Bible, apparently. And the thing is that book is so in depth to gardening that I would say if you're a beginning gardener, you're going to understand it just about as much as an advanced gardener. And the reason why I don't read many books is because the fact that once you establish a knowledge of gardening and you have a background with it, a lot of stuff is just add-on information. And so I'll get these books and I'll get these things that I'll read, and it'll kind of just enhance it. And I don't really have to sit down and read a 300-page book about it, because it's not going to do any more than just enforce what I already know.
Cooking episodes. I don't know if you guys would. I mean.
Well, do you want to tell them what we might be doing?
Well, Luke might actually be opening up his own channel with later this year, and it's a little bit secret, the name of it. So I'm going to keep it a surprise and interesting, but after he gets out of school, like I work a full-time job, he goes to full-time school, and then we still do the MIgardener store. So we want to obviously dedicate to that. And Luke actually wanted to be a chef since he was little, and he is very impressive at the kitchen. So I think you should be asking him when his cooking episodes. Mine tend to be a lot more, I don't know, they're very simple, nothing too elaborate. There are some things that I know from my mother's Mexican cooking, which I can definitely pass along, like authentic salsas and things like that. And I just been so at the work I do, it just takes a lot of my time, and it's a little bit stressful, not too much, but it's just after work, I just feel a little bit drained. And I'm very, very much of a perfectionist in how I want things to look out. I want them to look aesthetically pleasing and stuff. So that's why I've been kind of holding off on it. So, but there will definitely be after he graduates, maybe this summer, he'll start doing that. And we also want to, we're looking for our first home. So we want a bigger kitchen, because right now we're in an apartment. So it's kind of hard to give you the experience that we really want to give you guys when making these videos. So just bear with us and a little patience.
Yeah, definitely bear with us. We're gonna be doing a lot more cooking videos in the future. We promise. It really did come down to the size of the kitchen and the fact that we have a little bit of dilemma with the YouTube channel, in the fact that there's a lot of people that want to see the cooking videos, but a lot being only about 20% of our audience. And the thing is, the other 80%, they come for the gardening. And we really want to keep MIgardener pretty strictly gardening related. And so we're going to be opening up a second channel. The name is going to be, well, we already have the name picked out.
No, don't say it yet. No.
I know, I'm not going to. We already have the name picked out. But we want to keep it a surprise. We're going to do an unveiling later on in the season. But we just want to get everyone really excited about it. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun because, like Cindy said, I always wanted to be a chef, and before I went to business school, I actually had my heart set kind of being going to culinary school. So it's just nice to have a medium where I can show my skills and not have to go to school for it again. So we don't want to miss the questions. Yeah.
Get off topic here. There was someone that asked about fruit trees. We will be making episodes on that, depending on the turnout of the fruit trees we planted at the cottage. So we are a little bit iffy. We don't know, because Michigan weather has just been so sporadic right now. Right now it's actually stopped snowing, but we got some couple of inches of snow. So we're hoping for that. We're gonna
do 2 more questions, and then we're gonna close
And you have started onions from seeds, right?
Yeah, we have how to start onions from seed. So that's another video. It's another video. It's called starting onions from seed.
And he's graduating with the BB.
BBA.
With the BBA in
business.
Entrepreneurship. Yeah.
So we're gonna
and my cooker. Dang it! How'd you know? This is not gonna be my cooker though.
We're gonna do one more. Randomly pick. Okay. Donna DeBruyne.
How do you feel about back to Eden?
How do you feel about back to Eden methods? I think they're great. I think they're awesome. I personally really love the back to Eden methods. I know personally I don't use them because it's it's just not my style, but I know a lot of people that grow with it, a lot of people that really have a lot of success with it. If you want to check out a prime example, there's a channel called Starry Hilder, Starry Hilder's Homestead. Go check out her channel. Let her know that I sent you. She has a phenomenal Back to Eden garden that she does every year, and it's something that if you want to go for it, her channel is a great one to go off of. She's got a really good personality. Personally, I just don't, because I really like the look of raised beds, and I'm a perfectionist when it comes to that kind of stuff, and the raised beds kind of just solidify it. So,
and I feel like the garden kind of tells you what, like your garden will tell you kind of what it needs and what it wants, and you guys should just never shy away from trying out things and seeing what's gonna work for you. And will we do a seed giveaway this season? Probably.
Are we just gonna keep answering questions?
Yes. Well, yeah. Let's keep answering questions.
Because I gotta go to the bathroom. I've been doing this for longer than you have.
Okay. Well, you can go take a break.
All right. I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick because we were gonna end about 15 minutes ago, but I'll be back in a second. Yeah. Okay. You take over the live stream.
So I'm gonna try and answer your guys' questions. Obviously, Luke is the seed expert and gardening expert, but we will be making as many beekeeping videos as long as the bees want to hang out with us, because I don't know if you guys saw a couple of our beekeeping episodes recently. I'm not sure if you did post it or not, but did you post the videos on your beehives? Oh, well, that'll be coming up, so I kind of give away what happened, so it's a little bit of a bummer, but there are some that we are still keeping and still going strong, so something may have changed with the weather. Oh, that's really exciting. So you're making honey wine mead. We've heard of that. It's really cool. Ooh, we would love to see that. Who do we recommend for the purchase of seeds? Well, obviously MIgardener.com. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. There's a lot of really cool, unique stores out there for seeds. I don't remember where do you like to order seeds from sometimes? I
like rareseeds.com.
Rare Seeds, yeah, they have very beautiful catalogs and all of that. More juicing and recipes, sure. When I have more time, I'll do it.
Do you like to plant marigolds and other flowers amongst your veggies? We're actually going to be doing that this year. We're going to be doing
more companion planting.
A lot more companion planting. Yeah. Marigolds and marigolds and borage, things that really like to attract pollinators and also get like aphids away and stuff. So
I am 25 weeks now. And you can't have these really big ones, but maybe from a far, far distance, you can still appreciate them.
So,
what's our favorite? I love sunflowers, but I mean, that's a flower.
Okay, let's do one more, and then I gotta get heading to bed because I got class tomorrow. So, yeah, because it's almost 9:30 here, and we have an
That's why we should move to California.
Well, okay. I mean, what?
I'm just sick of the
weather here. The weather here, but it doesn't change the fact that I have class tomorrow. So unfortunately, we're gonna do these a lot sooner too. We're gonna start these probably around like maybe 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, so we can do a little bit of a longer one because this one was originally only gonna be like 30 minutes, and it's longer than we actually had. But we want to get people's questions done and stuff. So let's answer one more. Really quick.
You know, this is a question we get a lot with people that just received their Trifecta Plus, and we have like seen previous episodes and saw our Trifecta numbers that they changed. Nothing of the product itself has changed, but do you want to explain to me, I guess, in more detail why the numbers are different?
The numbers are different just because the NPK has just been the only thing that's changed. The mix is 100% the same. And the thing is that we wanted to change the numbers to reflect a little more accurately the amount of nutrients that are available the moment you add it to the soil. Because when you when you add fertilizer, the slow release and the fast acting, they have different numbers. And so like 3-4 months down the road, there's gonna be more nutrients available than there was when you first put it in. But we really wanted to just put the NPK as the initial amount so that it was a little more accurate in comparison to other fertilizers out there, because we realized the numbers were really high and people were a little bit suspect of that. But there was nothing suspect about it in the sense that that it was like synthetic. It was more or less the fact that we were taking into account the slow release and the fast acting. And a lot of the fertilizers out there, they only kind of count the amount that's available when you first add it. And we really just wanted to be consistent with everyone else out there, so that it wasn't so that it didn't seem misleading, because we always want to be really upfront and honest with people. So
yeah, it's just part of like licensing the product and stuff. So you know it's fair to the information that it's out there, but nothing of the recipe itself has changed.
Recipe's 100% the same.
It's 100% the same. Yeah, we will not overtime borage. Borage.
Later, y'all. People are already saying goodnight. So, again, we really want to thank everyone. You know, in closing, we want to thank everyone for coming out. We've had a really steady stream of people, and we're going to have a lot more. This was really spur of the moment. And I apologize, Cindy, for having this feel a little spur of the moment. I was, you know, I was trying to find a way to answer people's questions that we had on Facebook and stuff, and it was just kind of getting a little bit discouraging, because I feel like I'd almost copy and paste the same message to so many people. And I'm like, you know, I haven't done a live stream since maybe 2 years ago, and got off to a little bit of a rough start. I wasn't sure. With Cindy's computer, it's a lot more different, but she's tech savvy. She got me up working, and thank you, Cindy. I appreciate it. And, you know, we just really want to thank everyone, because it's something that's, as a content creator and stuff, it's really really intriguing to see the different types of people that come out of all different walks of life and the locations, and the fact that we can turn on a live stream and see people come in real time and ask real questions. It really shows us that our videos are actually doing stuff. So,
and on that note, we do want to shout out that we do have Periscope as well. So if you guys are Periscope users, that would be awesome, because you know, that way we can ask people questions.
Yeah,
but we're gonna have a set schedule, and when we're doing that, doing live streams when we're on Periscope, we're gonna have a set schedule for that. We think it's a really cool tool.
We're gonna do a lot of behind the scenes stuff from the garden, little snippets, and it's gonna be fun. And we're also gonna hopefully be able to Periscope while we're live streaming on YouTube, so we can really get, you know, double live streams. So.
And then we're gonna add Snapchat to that, and Instagram, and
we're on a lot, but we really are. We're really happy that we're on Periscope. Hopefully, everyone will go add us. MIgardener is the handle, and that's all we got for you today. So I'm gonna hit the hay, but we will talk to you tomorrow on like Facebook if you have any questions, Twitter if you have any questions. We're on it every day. It's just we won't be able to do a live stream like this all that often, maybe once a week or so. We'll really try to get a live stream up to answer questions, because with this many followers, it's difficult to answer each and every one in a text question. And like we said, every question has probably 10 or 20 other people that have the same question. So. And
also, we just want to mention Kelly Kim.
Yeah, Kelly Kim. And, go check out her channel. Go check out her channel.
She's doing this really cool series with one of her friends called $10. First garden kit. Yeah. So I honestly think I'm dyslexic at times doing things, because I know Spanish and then I flip things around. But yeah, check it out. It's pretty much from start to finish, and it's going along really well. So that's awesome. So if you guys want to go check out the progress and the seeds, and if you're a first-time gardener, that would be a great thing for you. Absolutely.
So again, thank you all for your support. Thank you all for giving Cindy a warm welcome. She's sometimes a little nervous for coming on camera, because she had the baby bump and everything. But there's no shame in that.
I'm just very shy.
No shame in that.
It takes a while for me to open up. So.
Are we gonna get to see baby bump on the way out? You don't have to pull your shirt up or anything. Jeez, what do you think I am? Okay, I'm kidding.
Nobody's
All right.
asked to see it, so it's okay.
You can see my baby bump.
No,
See?
no, stop.
All right. Okay, we'll
All right.
talk to y'all later. Have a great night. Be blessed. Have a great rest of your week. And grow bigger, go home. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.